talking about our astrological signs. So
these are the things we do.
Just keeping it super professional.
So are we live? Yeah,
Says we're live.
We're live. Okay.
Recording. Like, I'm a Sagittarius.
What's your star sign? So we wanted to jump in and just check in with you guys because we think it's fun to get in live, and also just to let you guys in a little bit on our process, our creative process, because when you're creating content for you guys, it's a creative process for us, and we don't know if you guys realize that we get together a lot.
Twice a week.
We work on Ladyboss only, probably like I would say 6 to 8 hours a week.
Yeah,
and that's what we're doing. We actually have Gabby doing even more.
Yeah.
So,
and then we're also running our own businesses.
Yeah.
And then we're also being moms because
we just made a good YouTube video for you guys. That'll come out next week.
We were talking about like, oh my God, what the hell are we going to do? Can I say hell on Facebook?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What are we going to do? It's summer and like, how are we going to get all the things done? And the kids are at home. And I was like, I'm feeling guilty because my son's at home watching
the summer struggle.
The struggle is real.
Hey, Kelly.
Oh yay. People are popping in.
Yeah. So we thought that, we would just jump in and say hello and let you in on that. Like I said, that process, and let you know that like this is something that we really, really feel passionate about. Is all of the things that we teach you for Ladyboss, all of the content that we put out. We put a lot of time into it.
Yeah, and you guys, we also want you to know that we're learning through this process, right?
Always,
we're both actively studying all the things that we're teaching you, so that we have good things to share. So actually, if you count in. So we're building content together like 6 to 8 hours a week. But how much time are you spending researching and stuff?
Wow, that other weekend it was probably like 8 hours.
It's a lot.
And that's because what we know about and how we grow our businesses and market ourselves is social media and SEO, and those things change
all the time.
And we know that it's hard to stay on top of that stuff, and so we feel like as the I was going to say mothers of this community. I don't know what we are, but as the
matriarch,
as the founders of Ladyboss Workshops, we really want to make sure that we have the up to the minute, keep our finger on the pulse of both of those things that are all, seriously, you guys, Instagram updates their app like every other week with new stuff, and their algorithm changes all the time. So that's just one of the things that we learned about. So.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're busy working around on this stuff. We have a couple of really great classes that are almost ready that we're so excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yes. We really want to change people's lives.
Yeah.
We do. With business. Because we just know that
it changed my life. I was on food stamps.
Yo, if I were not
For real
photographer right now and have my own business, I would have been in a lot of trouble with my recent life changes.
Your life circumstances.
Yes, but you're all fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
So we do believe that, a successful, profitable business in doing something like photography, which is creative and fun, and you get to work with people and make your own hours, we know that that's going to change your life, and that's possible.
Okay, so somebody just asked, can you speak to your journey to ClickPro? Absolutely. It's something that I'm working towards now. I'm going to let you talk about that because, okay, so full disclosure.
You guys, we were just talking about this today.
I didn't get involved in the Click Moms community just for a couple of years since meeting Elena.
2016.
Okay, that's not true. So in 2015 or 2016, when did I teach it? Was my first time speaking at ClickAway. And I wasn't a ClickPro or a Click Moms member at all then. And then I joined on to that afterwards.
And we're really excited, Alex, right? I was reading your call. I'm really excited that you are asking about this. And it's so weird. The universe is so strange like that, right?
We were actually just
talking about how we really, the next phase of what we want to introduce from a teaching standpoint is how to get involved as an educator in the very vast community of educators that is out there, and it's a very abundant one. So I'm so glad you asked. So anyway, but yes, ClickPro is a great Click Moms is a good place to start, especially if you've never educated before. For instance, for me, when I started teaching in 2013, I had like 200 Instagram followers and I think like 2,000 Facebook followers. So I didn't have a mailing list, which I'll teach you about that later. But I think that it's a great place to start, because if you don't have a following, it's really hard to get people to see what you're offering, right? So yes, Click and Moms is a wonderful place to start. Or there are other, we're not repped by Click and Moms, just so you know. There's a lot of other places, Bloom Forum, Illuminate classes. I'm just thinking of the Unraveled Academy. There's a few new ones.
There's new ones coming out.
Yeah. So those are great platforms. So yes, and how I got to ClickPro. Well, here's the thing: you have to be a good photographer. You have to be a professional photographer first, not taking clients necessarily. There's plenty of people who teach that don't take clients. But you have to know what you're doing. You have to make ClickPro, you need a very solid portfolio. So don't put the cart. I don't know where you are. I have not seen your work, and so I'm not saying this based on what you're doing. But what I see is a lot of people put the cart before the horse, and they want all of these things that actually you really need to make sure that your craft is dialed in. So you need to make sure that you have a really solid portfolio. So do the work to practice and get a really true and honed in artistic style, and make sure that your portfolio is up to date, and then that's how you'll get accepted to ClickPro.
Yeah. And like I said, I just applied to ClickPro last year.
Yeah.
So I'm sure and for me, it was a fun process, but yeah, I'm sure it would have been a different story had I done it at the beginning.
Yeah, I think I've been ClickPro since 2012. But that was, for me, in that time, back in 2009, there weren't a lot of,
you guys are freaking reading our minds.
I'm getting the chills.
I know. Okay, anyway.
So at that time, there weren't a lot of resources for photographers, and Click and Moms was a really valuable one for me. And so that was kind of how I learned. It's where I grew up, I would say, as a photographer.
Which I think that's what they've done really well.
Yeah,
they've really
done a really great
it.
Yeah.
So listen, Kyla just asked if there's a Ladyboss workshop retreat in the future, and I swear to God, you guys are coming on and asking things that we were literally just talking about. Maybe we've been live all morning and we didn't realize it.
I would say that what we're more thinking is as far not I wouldn't use the word retreat necessarily, because we're thinking it would be more of a business intensive, and it's just we just started talking. We
were just talking about maybe some sort of a mastermind weekend or something, because we know we give you guys a lot of information and we give it to you online so you can work it at your own pace, but sometimes it's nice to be in a room with somebody and have people walk you through the process. So what we're envisioning, and we're for real just started talking about this, so chime in if this sounds like something you'd be interested in. But we were thinking wouldn't it be amazing to be in a room full of people, and we can get in and we can talk about this stuff and teach it, and then break into small groups. So work in real time.
Just knowing that some people work that way. We could actually look at your website and be here's what you need to do. Because we can give, when we teach our classes, it's wonderful for the self-paced learners, but there are some people that really need that intensive time to get their business together.
Yeah, so we're playing around with that idea.
That's
yes, mastermind weekend.
Yeah, it would be like a mastermind. Yeah, and we were kind of talking about it being a 4-week process, where a lot of it is online, and then it culminates with one meeting.
We're playing around with the idea.
Playing around with the ideas. We don't know yet. We have no idea, but
I love in-person teaching, so I think that would be really good fun. But I have a background as a teacher. I like getting up.
Yeah. Well, and that
was my job beforehand.
In-person teaching with Bree Thurston too, but that's more about artistic development.
So it wouldn't be a let's get together and take pictures retreat. It would be a workshop. We're going to get down to business and get this squared away. That's what we're thinking.
Cool. And I asked about how many of you are educators, which is interesting, because we do know from that we have basically 2 different businesses. So what we speak to most regularly is how to build your portrait photography business, because we both have very profitable and successful portrait photography businesses in the same neighborhood. But we also, our other business is educating, and that is something that we know that some photographers are interested in getting in. And let me tell you, we have learned so much about how to do it in a really great way. So
yeah, and we continue to learn, but we're really excited. Kylie, your comment just made me smile. That was really nice. Thank you.
Well, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. That's why we like to come on live.
Yeah.
So, Angela, yes, there is a ClickPro fee. I don't know what it is anymore, though. I'm not affiliated or associated with them anymore. I used to be a mentor with them. I'm not. Just didn't have the time to do that anymore. But so that's probably all on their website. There is a fee, I'm pretty sure, though.
Yeah. This is fun. Do you guys have any other questions or anything? We just are just popping on.
Yeah, this was just totally informal, just to say hi. And just so that you guys know that like we really do put in a lot of time for this community. We care about you guys, like legitimately care. We have no classes out right now. Like we're not bringing in revenue with this at this moment, and that's still something that we spend 6 to 12 hours a week, if not more, on.
I think it's probably more.
It's probably more like 20. Yeah.
It's like 80.
It's all. I actually live in her studio. Well, it's getting to the point where I'm like, I'm going to have to start paying rent.
I'm like, I need to make you a key.
Because I pop in here like every day. But yeah, anyway, so.
But anyway, we have a couple great classes coming. We're so excited about that. So what we did, I'm just going to just talk about this for a second because I'm actually so excited about it. So we had, I know, I'm getting hungry too. Fun fact, my studio is like right down the street from an amazing bakery. And
we eat there.
We're basically paying rent there.
Yeah, well. Or the Mexican restaurant.
I know, she's so good. Jeez. Anyway.
Squirrel.
So we're like, food.
Somebody talk about eggs.
But, okay. Did you ever do a summer? Okay, I'm getting distracted. This is what I want to say, is that when we did the original Ladyboss workshops, Business Like a Ladyboss, we just kind of barfed out everything we knew. We were so excited to share this content. We wanted to change lives and wanted to see you really make it, that we just gave out everything. She came to one of my workshops. She's been to the Mexican restaurant. So good.
Ridiculous.
So
margaritas are really
good too.
After our Kelby 1 class.
Okay. These next round of workshops is they're a lot more focused. They're more intense. They're really just on individual topics, and then we're going deep into those topics. So
and the reason we did that is because we took your feedback. A lot of people were like feeling a little overwhelmed with the amount of content before. It's still great content. That other class is our first amazing class. It's everything that we knew up until that point about growing a business, and so now we've just kind of segmented it out and chunked it out into the different topics. And so that if some of you are only wanting to learn about SEO, you could just buy that class. If some of you only want to learn about social media marketing, you could buy that. We're going to have a way to buy both. We're expanding, and there's
it's basically like, it's just so good. It's like marketing.
It's good.
Yeah. Anyway, we're so excited. That's what we're working on right now. All right. So I want to see
all the free stuff that we sent.
What was your first educational project or class offering? So for me personally, when I first started teaching, I taught classes to my clients on just how to use their cameras, how to use their DSLRs, which is weird because I'm a film photographer, but I understand exposure triangle. I taught people just how to use their camera and do composition so that they could get decent pictures of their kids. And it was really fun. It was just kind of a nice thing that I offered to my clients. And people are always like, well, aren't you worried they're not going to book you? And I'm like, nope. Because they're not
I think that's such a funny concept. Like I get professional photos done every single year.
Yeah, you're really good about it.
So I mean, it's like that's a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
Boom.
So
my first educational offering was a breakout session with ClickMoms, and which is essentially an ebook. And you guys, in those days, it was like not what they are now. It was just PDF. Like it wasn't all these videos and all that stuff. I feel like what they're doing now is
those are like legit workshops.
They're legit workshops for such a good price. So, anyway, yes. And that's actually what, it's so funny you guys are asking about this, because we feel like that would be part of the class, is to talk to you about when it's a good idea to go with a bigger company like ClickMoms, and if you do, how you make sure that it's a mutually beneficial relationship, because there are some big mistakes that I made in the beginning that I didn't even know I was making, that I was not helping grow my own brand. And so we would love to teach you guys that, because, well,
nobody's talking about it, but it would be fun to have a class that talk to you. Like, do you want to just teach how to class to your clients? Do you want to be teaching with a diffent platform? Do you want to be running bigger classes on your own? These are different ways you can do it. And ways
how to actually figure out what to teach. Like I actually have mentored a lot of friends about that, where they're like, I don't have anything to teach. I'm a family photographer. I'm like, oh, yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Let me tell you how to figure this out. Because whenever I'm about to brew a new class, I go through the same kind of thing. And there is a process that we both take in getting the information onto paper so that you can see what it is that you actually
I wish
do.
that they could see the walls of the studio with all the.
We're brainstormers,
we've got
guys.
Giant pieces of paper up all over.
Yeah, we write down our goals and write things down. So I'm really glad to hear that people are excited about that, because that is definitely phase 2 of Ladyboss workshops, is to help you guys learn how to get your educational stuff out there.
So Matthew,
ready.
Matthew wants to know if we'll fly to Maine to photograph his family.
Matthew, I'm going to be in Maine. I'm going to be in Maine for a Blair and Thurston retreat in September. But the truth of the matter is I usually don't have time to photograph people. But I do travel.
I travel too.
Yeah, I travel. You just have to pay my travel fees.
You just have to pay me.
I don't charge more for my sessions when I travel.
I don't either.
You do have to pay for my flight and one night stay.
Yeah, that's how I do
it. But yeah, I travel, or people travel to me at least. I think I'm gonna have 5 this summer that are from out of state. Yeah.
I do too. Okay, so can you share a mistake that you made? How much time do we have?
I'll share my number one. I'll share my number one biggest mistake. Oh yeah, my number one mistake when collaborating with other companies was not growing my own email list, and it took me a long time.
Well, I think I started talking to you about that in 2016.
It took me until 2016. I started in 2013 to realize that I had been letting other companies grow their list and not bringing them onto my personal list. Because when someone's buying an educational offering from you, they're buying it because they're buying it for 2 reasons. 1, they like what you are producing, or 2, they like the topic that you're teaching. Because I definitely get students who've never seen my work before. So you are the talent. So you need to be compensated in not just financially, but you got to take care of that yourself.
Yeah.
They aren't going to teach you how to do that, big companies. So yeah, that's where we would like to teach you how to do that, because it is hard. It's a learning curve. It's a steep learning curve. How to grow your list in a really effective way is a steep learning curve. But
yeah. Biggest mistake, I mean, I've made all the mistakes. I mean, I don't know if you're talking about just teaching in particular, or
in teaching.
Oh, about teaching.
She was one that asked about that.
I have to think about that.
Okay, hold on.
Facebook Live videos boost your visibility.
Did you see, Carrie? Did you see our post last week?
Yeah, go to the blog last week, because Elena did a whole post and video.
Oh, girl, yes. Facebook Live is what you need to be doing.
And if nobody else in your area is doing it, hop on it.
So get Carrie. Go to our website, ladybossworkshops.com. I will try.
I wish we could put a little.
We can link it. Link that exact post. I'll do that before this is over. And we have a free opt-in on how 52 Facebook Live ideas that you can do. Mm-hmm. Facebook is prioritizing their native content videos. So this one is in a group, so it's not. But like if you were on your page, your video is, and Facebook Live Facebook is really prioritizing engagement, and videos bring in a ton of engagement. So yes. If you want Facebook to work for you, you kind of have to start using live video.
Yeah, it's huge. Okay, so Carrie said, I saw that, wait, whoever, Lindsay, whatever mistakes you want to share, honestly. Okay, well, I always feel like my biggest mistake when I first started is I didn't learn the business part. I was just, actually you can see it. See this maternity photo in the back right there? That's the first picture I basically ever took.
I wish I looked that not pregnant.
I know, right? It's my friend Ginger at 20 weeks. But anyway, I took that one picture. So my story at that time is I was teaching kindergarten. I was fresh out of graduate school. I was poor. By
the way, you guys, both of us started our photography careers poor as, and we were doing this. We had safe jobs that we should not have been. I was a nurse; she was a teacher.
Yeah, so I was like, I qualified for food stamps as a full-time teacher with a master's degree. So that just puts it some perspective. And I took that picture for Ginger, and she said, "You know what? I really like this picture. Maybe you should offer this to other people." As a way to make some extra money. So I took that one picture and I turned it into a little postcard and put it all around town and blah, blah, blah. That's history. But my biggest mistake is in that moment is I had no idea that I was even starting a business. I thought I was just bringing in some money so I could buy groceries, and so I didn't run myself as a business. And I've talked very openly about this. I gave a whole talk that was live streamed at ClickPro a couple of years ago about this, where because of that, I spent 8 years wasting a lot of time, losing a lot of money, and completely burning myself out to the point where I almost quit before I decided to buckle down and learn business, not lose business, but learn how to run my business like a business. And it was like really buckling down and doing that work that was able to, within a couple of years of I'm so broke, I'm so burnt out, I'm going to have to fold to making multiple six figures. So, which is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about teaching this business stuff, because it changed my life, like literally changed my life. It changed the life I can give to my children. And I want to share that with you. Yeah. So that was my number one biggest mistake, is wasting 8 years trying to wing it and not learning. And you guys
thankfully I got it. Let's see. I
thankfully you weren't as dumb as.
Well, I was dumb too. No, I was really dumb. Let's see. It was like 3 or 4 years where I was doing the same thing, kind of floundering, and then realized like, oh wait, like I'm really good at photography now, or good enough, at that point. Which, by the way, I hate to say that. That sounds like a horrible thing to say, but you'll notice.
I don't think it's a horrible thing to say.
But I was like, oh, I need to learn marketing and business. Like, I need to learn about how to really make this work, and go outside of the industry and figure that out. There really wasn't any good photography business education specifically. No. I feel like it's cropping up a little bit more now, but what we know that we feel frustrated, or not frustrated, but we like do our little like about here, is that a lot of the photography educators that are educating about business are like 25-year-olds that don't have children. It's great. Trust me, if I had known what I knew before I had kids, like if I was starting this before I had kids, I mean, it would have been a magical experience, because sometimes I just want to work all the time and that's not possible. But what we do know how to do is how you can do this while you're also raising a family.
Yeah.
So
because by the time I started learning about business, I had twins at home.
And I had
and it was during the recession. It was like,
me too.
Hard. But you know what? It can be done.
It can be done. It can be done. And it's not an overnight thing. And so, but we definitely want to try and save you some of the pain and mistakes that we made.
Yeah. And to put it in perspective, guys, like, not to say that our classes are amazing and super good value, but they totally are. The first business class that I took, like I said, I was struggling. It was hard. And I invested $2,000 to take an online business course by Marie Forleo. So not a photographer, not in our industry. Best thing I ever did. Scared me.
And just so you guys know now,
we
currently, so we're always learners. We currently just bought a $2,000 course to help us with some of the other business stuff that we're doing, and we hire coaches. So like, there's investing in education is something that we do as well. We're not just like bringing in money from education and not investing. We invest in ourselves a lot. We read business books constantly. Listen to them on our earbuds, because we have ADD and reading is really hard for us.
I'm totally dyslexic.
But
it's true.
Yeah, but anyway, so we're always educating ourselves too.
So hey, Angela, I just wanted to hop on and say that you're encouraged by the fact that Elena doesn't do in-person sales. I actually don't either. You said, I don't know if you are, Sandra. No, I
am going to be on a podcast tomorrow, Six Figure Photography, by our friend Ben, talking all about that, actually. Because
you don't have to.
No.
I mean, and some people do, and if it works for you, that's great. So I still make great money, and I don't do it.
Here's the thing about in-person sales. Then, this is like, I feel like we're getting so long on this video, and then we're just gonna go forever. But in-person sales, I feel like if you want to do it, you should feel passionate about the products that you're selling, because and there are some people who really love in-person sales because they genuinely want to like sit there with that client and show them their products and
get the emotion from them.
Yeah, they want to do this like slideshow. You have to know if A, that's something you're passionate about, and B, if your client wants that, because trust me, mine, they don't want that. There's no way that my client is going to have the time. They can barely have the time to make their photo sessions happen, to come in and sit there and go over a thing, all that stuff that happens with their in-person sales. So it doesn't work for me. So if people are going to do it, just make sure you're passionate about it. And then what I also talk about is why, yes, they're making a ton of money. Right, so they claim. These people will say they're making
I think some people really
$2,000 or $3,000 a thing, which is fine. But you have to also account for every single hour that it took to make that happen because it's usually a pre-session consultation, the actual session, and after session consultation, then you have to design the products. The products are expensive for you. So you have to consider your cost of goods. Then you have to consider what it takes to get the products, package them, deliver them. So just always remember that, yes, they might be making that and saying, oh, I'm only doing 1 session a month, but how much are they actually making an hour? Where Sandra and I's all-inclusive model, I make $800. I know what I make. I bring in about $700 per session after all my costs because I outsource my editing and I do have a little album that goes with them. And I do 3 sessions a week, sometimes more, depending on and it takes me like 2 hours total.
No, I'm
Total.
the same. So I come in and my average sale is about $1,200.
Yeah, I charge $850, but
my cost on that is probably about $100. Yeah.
Yeah, I charge $850.
So
you have to think about that. Like we like to talk about numbers actually. We were talking about this, and I was like, yeah, in September I'm going to bring in just for my photography business $22,000.
Yeah,
in September. That's a busy month for me. She does that really regularly.
Yeah. See, now Matthew, a lot of people love it.
But if you love, that's what I'm saying.
If you love it and
then
it works for you,
yeah.
What it boils down to is like knowing. And we say it all the time: know what you do, know who your clients are. Right?
Yes.
Like that's the secret sauce. I think where the photography industry goes wrong is that they say there is one way to do it, and there is not. What is that? They're like the 100 ways to skin a cat.
Right.
I don't know what that saying is.
I'm not skinning cats.
I'm not skinning any cats either. But the takeaway is there's a lot of different ways to do it. And there's not just one way. It's knowing what you want to do, knowing what your client needs, and bringing those two things together.
Because Matthew, your client is going to you and would never come to me. Do you see what I mean? And that's great. This is a wonderful thing. This is the magic of our industry that everyone's like, oh, it's saturated. It's not true. There's enough people. You just have to actually know what you're doing and what it is that you do for who you're doing it for.
Yeah, and I think, I kind of have this weird hybrid system because I have a session fee and then I have products and everybody adds products to their session fee. I just don't do an in-person sales thing. So what I do is my clients come in, we do our shoot. At the end of the session, I say, awesome, you can add this album, you can add digital files, you can add a print. I have like 3 things that people can add. People always add something and we're done. So I guess it's like a sort of like an in-person sales thing, but we do it like right there. I don't have tons of product. And
I offer products. They can buy products on Shootproof. And I would say Gabby and I think she and I did it last year. I think about 40% actually buy more stuff. So I do make more on top of it, but it's not in person. It's that they can just buy straight from Shootproof. So there's many ways to do it. And that's why when we talk about pricing, whenever I talk about pricing, I say we got to take all the emotions out of it. Yeah. What you need to think about is, oh, guys, these are our classes. It's so hard to put it in like a quick thing, but you have to know what you do, who you're doing it for, right? You need to know those things. It's so important. This is like a big mistake that most people make. But then when you're thinking about pricing, you need to know what you need to make or want to make. But usually it's like, how are you going to make a profit out of this? You should
at least know what you need to make.
It's got to be profit.
Make it even.
So we think about like, what are your set costs? What are you incidental costs? Like all of that kind of stuff that it costs to run a business, right down to like your gas and your CF cards and your ClickPro memberships or whatever. Your film if you shoot film. And then you need to think about what you're bringing in with each session. And then that's how you decide how many you need to do a month. Now, if you like to do in-person sales, then your numbers are going to just be more heavy on one client as opposed to those of us that do a larger volume. But
I have a high volume too. I have a weird system.
Well, she makes a lot of money.
I do.
Yeah, she makes a lot of money. So there's that. I make over 6 figures on being a shoot and burner. I hate that. I hate that word. I think
it's just about knowing what. It's just about knowing what you do, knowing who your client is,
and don't ever let anyone bully you into thinking that there's one way to do it because there's not. Because I used to. Brie and I talk about that all the time. Like we were called like, oh, you guys are undercutting the industry because we started in a time when like in-person 10 years ago, in-person sales and the old studio model was really not her modern way, but like was really like kind of on the way out, and they were really holding on to it and not feeling good about those of us that were doing it in a more modern way. And so I got a lot of flack for that. Now, I'm still in business 10 years later. Yeah. So you got to do what works for you.
You got to do what works for you. So Lindsay's asking.
It's a lot. We'll take this as the last question. We got to eat before I eat my arm.
I want a cookie. Do you charge for prints via Shoeproof? I do.
Oh yeah, what do I charge? So I don't
what do
know
you
off
charge,
the top of my head right now.
I don't know.
So
I can look and
Lindsay,
see.
if my fee, $850 gets them the session, the digital files. I guarantee a minimum of 75, and we make them an album, and we use Miller's books, which are really we spend $50 an album. So they're cheap. So the prints and extra albums and stuff is on top of that. And I do charge premium print prices. Not super crazy. I mean, I know some people charge like $150 for an 8x10. I'm not like that. But I do charge premium print prices because they are premium prints. But they go straight through Shootproof, and we just check the order, and it's drop shipped.
Yeah, and my price list is right here. So my 11x14 started almost $200.
But they're matted.
They're matted, and people buy them all the time.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like, I have them displayed in my studio, and like I said, I shoot film. So when people are doing their ordering session with me, none of us have seen their pictures, not even me, because we're doing it at the end of the session.
I make all my money before we've even done the shoot.
I know. So it's like, it's a weird system. It has nothing to do, we could tell you our exact pricing, our exact model. It may or may not work for you. It's about who your people are, what is it that you do.
Yeah.
I believe that 1,000%.
Yep, you have to know. And this works really beautifully for my clients.
Mm-hmm.
There are some clients that really, like my friend that lives in Austin, Texas, does this like really amazing, beautiful in-person sales situation. She makes about $3,000 per shoot, and she does one shoot a month. So that's her model. Her client needs that hand-holding. Her client wants a pre-session wardrobe consultation. My clients come in Patagonia jackets and jeans.
I mean, I want a pre-session wardrobe consultation.
So, you know what I mean? Yeah. You just have to know who your people are. And we really talk a lot about that in every course
everything
that
I've
we're
ever
going to
taught
teach.
Every
course that and the new ones that we have coming out, even each one is going to have a segment about that, because it is so important.
It's so important. It's really the cornerstone. If you can get those concepts, like, it'll change your life.
You're going to be happier.
So you guys, we've been on here. We've been talking at you for a long time.
Half an hour. We're so excited that you guys are here and that you'll come and hang out with us. And
raise your hand real quick if you're watching the YouTube stuff. Because go on, we're getting...
Yeah, we have a lot of videos, and we're just doing... We're putting content up there every week.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's okay. I don't even know what I was talking about.
You're talking about
food. We're so glad you guys are here, and we did just want you to know that we work really hard on this community, and that
people raise their hand, they watch the YouTube.
Good. We're dorks.
We always feel so dorky every time we get on there and do this video. Yeah. So I'm glad you guys like them.
She thinks she looks like Bob Dylan. It's really cool.
Well, I did, because I had that one turtleneck on and my hair is super curly. I do. You know, like those old album covers where he's always in like some severe turtleneck and he had like super crazy.
What's a severe turtleneck?
It's a severe turtleneck.
Geez. Okay.
So
we're so glad you guys are here. Please, another thing too, while I have you, there's only 20 of you on here, but if you know anyone that you know would benefit from this group, invite them in. We would love to see more people in this community of photographers, because we really are wanting to see more. We hear a lot of people complain about the photography industry and business, and we want people to know that like there's so much success to be had.
And it changed my life. It absolutely 100% did.
Me too.
Also, if you have topics that you want to see us cover on YouTube or on the blog or anything like that, you can always just post about them right here on the Facebook.
Yeah.
And we'll make a video about it.
Yep. Yeah. We'll try to pop in here more regularly during these lives.
Go eat. Thank you.
Yes. I don't know if I would burrito or I don't know what I'm going to do.
I don't know.
No, I'm gonna do.
Or the egg salad.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.